Welcome to Quarantings. We're here.
We're back in the building.
We're back.
Doing another episode, which apparently she's nervous about. Don't know why.
I'm not.
We 40 deep. We 40 deep, and magically she just got nervous all of a sudden. It's so crazy.
It's just the episodes where I have to, sometimes I get tricked into ranting, and then I'm like, fine.
There is no trick today, woman. Okay.
No, that's what I mean. That's I think why
and
I'm like
if
more
there was
stressed.
a trick, this is like the most elaborate trick ever. This is like a Joker style trick. Like, wow. Like,
No. I'm saying like
amazing.
sometimes we accidentally stumble into a Kristen rant. And that's fine because there's no warning for me, so I just get after it. With this one, I'm like, I don't want everybody to think I'm just...
I'm going to take people behind the curtain. We do not stumble into your rants, girl. Like, you come in here with some rant-type energy, and then you say, let's talk about something that has nothing to do with me and my rant-type energy, and then you find a way to lead us
You're probably right.
to the rant. Today, we're just saying, you know what? Follow the yellow brick road, the yellow rant road, and we're here. So it's a lot better
We're here,
today.
yes. We've arrived at a pivotal moment in the Quarantings canon.
Why? We're not going to get
Why
through
am I
this.
being... Yeah, I know. You'd
We're
like
not
going to
get through this. We should have had you take a shot before we started. You could have
I know.
calmed down.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
that was a
I'll be
mistake.
serious. I'm being serious. Okay.
Why so serious?
The situation is this. People seem to be confused.
You know, no. You can't even do it. I'm gonna say it. So lately, we've been getting some very, let me call it, intriguing audience comments.
Yeah, both good and bad.
Yes.
Warranted and unwarranted.
And first of all, we love all the comments. We love,
Shout out.
Get on there, rate, review, subscribe, do the whole thing, right? But like, some of the comments as of recently, as a great philosopher once said, you must done got me fucked up.
Thank you.
Like, so
Took the words out of my mouth.
we're just going to make sure that it's very clear, as we go to the next 40 episodes.
Right.
That y'all know exactly
What the fuck
up.
it is. Right.
So now you can go.
Yeah, there's two. Now that I'm warmed up, I'm feeling much better.
You're welcome.
There's basically... I wanted to do an episode where we talk about like what actually is this podcast and why are we doing it and what is the motivation for doing it. Because sometimes I feel like, one of the things I've been getting a lot of recently is that people who are speaking to me in my real life about this podcast in a very positive way, but the comments they're making to me very much suggest that they perceive this podcast as a reality show of our lives. And while I appreciate the suggestion that I am the most interesting person in the world...
Whoa, Dos Equis? Where did you get Dos Equis ranking? Tom, what am I?
You're here.
Wow. Wrap me up like a rodeo show. Okay, continue.
No, I mean, you're the one that said it. Like, you had the best, like, clear-cut way of stating it. But basically, like, this isn't... I want people to understand that, like, this is not a diary. So, like...
Anne Frank's not walking through that door. This
Yeah.
is not a, biography.
Right.
Auto or written by anyone else.
Yeah.
As some of the world's greatest leaders, my guys Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and The Rock have said, their best characters, and yes, still watch wrestling, shout out. We was just at SmackDown the other day. It was awesome. Anyways, some of the best wrestling characters, the reason that they met well with the audience was because they were their genuine selves. They just turned the dial up.
Right. Exactly.
So if you're normally a 6, they just turn it up to a 9. Because they're like, hey, I'm still being me. I'm just maybe being a little more exaggerated or eccentric of me.
Right.
Because that's the better way and the more entertaining way to get it across. Because
What-
if
what
everybody
are-
was entertaining, then, come on now, we wouldn't have
They said
any of
they
this.
said he said he was a 6 and he turned it up to a 9. What am I in real life?
What are you in real life?
Yeah.
Not a 6. I'll tell you that. You're like, I mean, I'd be nice. You're like a 7.2.
Out of outlandishness, 7.2.
You're like a 7.2, 7.3.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, we're playing characters of ourselves, and it's for, I think, a greater good, which we're going to get into. But I just wanted to reiterate the fact that, like, if you think that, I don't, yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish.
No, I'm.
But Beyonce had the best album of all time.
It represents a greater truth. The truth doesn't need to be the reality of either of our day-to-day lives. It can still represent like real, genuine things and have a through line of like this reality that we live in without it being like we're tied to this specific thing. Like, I think a lot of the stuff we talk about on the pod has greater meaning and greater camaraderie.
You're out here like Rafiki trying to tell these tales that have a real, they have a meaning, they have a purpose to the story, but you may not understand the story.
Right.
Your story just happens to be based on more truth than some of that shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people are only looking at the story and the details of the story.
Right.
And that's been causing some emotion to evoke.
Yeah.
As of late.
And it's not really it's not really a me versus everyone thing or a us versus everyone thing, It's like when people separate it into like my actual life versus their actual lives, it's like, no, that's not what I'm out to do. It's like I'm trying to I keep saying you're so much in it with me now, but when I started it and when I wanted to start it, like, I wanted everyone to,
I mean, you could say like, this was your idea.
Yeah, in the beginning. So we're clear. To collectively feel better. Like, I started this, like, during quarantine, and particularly singles, but really everyone was so isolated and so alone and was trying to figure out what that meant. And, like...
Spoiler alert, nothing great.
Yeah, exactly. It was terrible. So, like... If we can all feel better about, this dating life that we're in, regardless of where you're at in it, like, it makes everyone feel better. Because the more you see that everybody else is doing different kinds of shit, the more you can feel, like, okay about what you're doing, because it's not like you're doing something different or weird. It's just there's all this variety, and society doesn't want us to think that that's true. They want to present this homogenous structure of relationships.
Been trying to tell you it's the best podcast you heard today. But no. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna get no argument from me on none of that shit. Like, it's just funny hearing some of this stuff. I don't know if you want to go into some of the things that we've been hearing.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun. It's not all just like gloom and doom. Like, we definitely wanted to bring in the YouTube comments on this one because this shit is hilarious.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go to YouTube right now and pull it up. There's been some people that have been feeling some type of way about some of the things that some
YouTube trolls in the cut, honestly, and it's so funny because I'll take you behind the curtain on this too, even though I literally hate to emphasize this, but it's just a reality of the fact that you and I do all of the work ourselves with no help. Like, there's
we are the
this clip on YouTube, like, fake blew up. And I didn't even want to put these clips on YouTube because they're formatted vertically for Instagram and they're on YouTube horizontally, so they look terrible. And then these clips are the ones that blow up. It just goes it makes me so mad, but that's a sidebar.
So what are these dudes popped up? So the specific clip is from episode 38 when we talk about the profiles and stuff, and we are randomly talking about guys that be liking girls' pictures on Instagram, and what's the difference between liking girls on IG that are clearly like sex workers and like that's they're shooting out their OnlyFans or their strip club or whatever versus bitches that are just out here trying to show you their booty because they want to show you booty.
Some girl you knew in college is posting a bikini.
But so Kristen just talks about how you shouldn't disrespect the sex workers, essentially is what the point of the clip was.
Yeah.
And we had two guys that just felt some real type of way about it.
They really were so upset.
So first homie is like, having sex is not a skill. Being a cashier, a delivery driver, a metal worker, a musician, a doctor, etc. These are skills. And now when I hear those first two sentences, you know what it tells me? That man either has never had sex in his life or no one who's had sex with him has enjoyed it.
And that's what I put on my story. I was like, says the man who literally has no idea what a clit is. But
he said having sex is something everybody in the world has the ability to do, excluding the severely handicapped. So yes, it is a lesser than career okay to be looked down upon. And I'm like,
this guy was so in his feelings. Oh
all
my
right.
God.
I was just like, you know what? The fact that you were willing to go on the internet and admit all of that aloud on your name, like, good for you.
It's so crazy.
I can't believe that you would do that, but good for you. But that wasn't the guy that I got in the cut. What you want to say about home?
I was just gonna say, like, just the I mean, there's so many like levels to it. Like, obviously, him saying having sex is not a skill is like truly funny. Like, that's just true. That is peak comedy.
Yeah, especially because by the time these episodes come out, they'll heard of your feelings about people and how they should be doing the sex.
Exactly.
So yes.
And then, but also like the fact that he's like, it is a lesser career that's okay to look down upon. I would argue that no career is lesser and no career you should look down upon. But whatever.
Everybody has a role, and today his role was to roll. So good for him. But he wasn't the person that I picked a fight with.
Yeah.
So this dude said, these are trash people. And when he says these are trash people, he's referring to me and Kristen.
Yeah.
He says, these are trash people that made a video to speak positive about sex workers.
That's actually just a fact. 10 out of 10.
Selling your body is disgusting and degrading, and nothing anyone should be proud of. Intellect is the superior path to happiness and fulfillment. Parenthood is a tie for that path as well. Influencers like this are the same as crack dealers. They are terrible for society. End quote.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. That was the first thing I said. I said he called us influencers. Oh my God.
So I was literally sitting here with Joe, and this was like later at night. This is probably like 11 some midnight. And I was like, you know, I may or may not have been having a couple of beverages.
Yeah.
And I looked at this, and a lot of times, like when the YouTube comments come, I'm like, oh, I don't know if Kristen's even going to see this email or if I have to tell her to look at it. And I was like, maybe I should just leave it. But then I read it to Joe, and Joe was like, this man's fucking crazy. And I said, you know what? He is crazy. Let me go back at his bitch ass. So I just said, LOL, wow, you big mad, huh? Must have had quite the happy life yourself and never been to any strip clubs or seen any porn, because that isn't the path to happiness, right?
Man.
And that's all I said, and I thought that was fine.
That was a good comment.
Now, this man had two responses for
me. Two major,
Couldn't just have one.
Couldn't get in one, yeah.
He said, as a matter of fact, I've done plenty of both. I can speak from personal experience and from many discussions with many people who've been down that route. That's always the same thing.
Oh my God.
They always lack true happiness, and it's always a fleeting day-to-day struggle to feel like they're worth anything. And the whole reason is they lack purpose, true purpose, that is fulfilling their lives. So I would ask you, Kristen, you, Lume, have you found your true purpose, your true calling in life? Do you feel like having discussions where you prop up the perversions of this world, not only to adults, but also to young, susceptible people, is your true calling? I don't think it is. I think you're better than that.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's just whether or not you're going to find your true purpose before your time runs out on this planet.
Wow. Not even done.
I would hope that you reflect on the things that you say and look at them through the lens of everyone, not just adults, and ask yourself if you feel proud of what you've produced. What do you feel like why you would have produced has made the world a little worse because of it? He's not great at English, but that's just what he said.
Oh my God. Jesus. It's not even done. Keep going. This is the second comment.
And yes, and then the worst part was he had to come back around and say, by the way, I'm not mad. I'm an electrical engineer, a father, a husband, a humanitarian volunteer very frequently, and a generally caring, considerate, thoughtful person.
So many typos.
So I'm not mad. As a matter of fact, I'm perfectly content. But it's just frustrating seeing videos where adults... I'm considerate of the fact that YouTube allows them a platform to degrade the youth in our society.
The youth.
But you do you, and the world will do what it does.
Do what it do, baby.
And now, needless to say, when I read this comment, the first thing I did is text Kristen and say, yo, you got to check the YouTube comment.
Man, I don't even know where to begin with this. Like, fuck. Okay.
Have you found your purpose in life?
Have I found my purpose in life? Great question.
Excellent question.
You know,
I thought my purpose was to bring these jokes, but apparently he don't like these jokes.
Wait, go back to the first. Click read more on the first comment.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
That's all. Oh, yeah, because we're the crack dealers.
You know, he says he's not mad, but these are trash people.
Yeah, we're
Selling
trash
your body
people.
is disgusting and degrading and nothing anyone should be proud of. Like, you know, not to get too much into the content of the fucking clip itself, but just to say again, like, people are doing what they need to do. Like, no one is saying that you should go out and do something that you feel like is disgusting and degrading. And if you have to go out and do something that you personally feel is disgusting and degrading, that speaks more about the society and the world that we live in than it does about you and what you need to do to get by in a fucking capitalist patriarchal system. So just to put that one little point in there, which doesn't...
And I know you're talking about the whole patriarch and everything, but you know, as the resident Quaranteam strip club connoisseur, I don't think there's anything degrading or disgusting about
exactly.
that activity.
Inherently.
I think it's a beautiful art, a very good skill,
and then
if you will.
Parenthood is so. This guy's just not his dad. Oh man, influencer. So then
we're crack dealers.
Once again, literally nothing funnier than saying influencers like us are the same as crack dealers.
I mean, I appreciate it. Like, I didn't know we had gotten to that level, you know.
Honestly, if we were crack dealers, we would be making a lot more money than we are doing this podcast.
Yeah, we wouldn't be filming and recording right here. But, you know, when we get to that level, I promise you, we'll be out there.
And then,
we'll shout you out
with
again.
his, like, long-ass fucking shit. Okay, open that other one up. As a matter of fact, I've done plenty of both. I can speak from personal experience. Yeah. So he's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. That's basically what he's saying. He's spoken to many who have been down the path.
I mean, the part that kills me is that he's like, a matter of fact, I've done plenty of both. I'm like, nah, you haven't.
What, fucking? Yeah, no.
Well, because my thing was I brought up porn and the strip clubs.
Right.
I'm like, if you really watch a lot of porn and went to a lot of strip clubs, you know what you not?
And this is literally so funny that he commented on this one because I have way worse videos where I was like, every woman in the world should watch porn. Like, he should have found that one and came at me there. That would have been more accurate.
I just want to know if he'll watch when we put your thing about the Brazilian wax.
The whole reason they lack purpose, true purpose, is that they have nothing fulfilling in their lives. So what I had to ask you is, have you found your true purpose, your true calling in life?
I thought it was the podcast. I guess it's not. He's telling us, I guess the podcast is not our true calling.
I mean, regardless of any of that, like, first of all, I'm not here. Like, if one thing should be clear from this podcast, I am not here for the children. So, like,
well, we do mark all our YouTube videos not for kids, just so we're clear.
So, like, as Cardi B said, I'm not here necessarily to be that, but even more so than that, like, it's truly wild to me that he would hit the nail this on the head and say that, like, I would hope that you reflect on the things that you say. Because I truly don't know anyone who reflects more on the things that they say than me. I spend all week thinking about what to say on this podcast and, like, how it'll read and how it'll be perceived and, like, what message am I trying to get across. And, like,
think about it way more than I do. That's for damn sure. Like, way more than I do.
Oh, man, that's so fucking funny.
This dude is wild.
If you feel proud of what you've produced. I mean, we literally do this completely on our own with no money and no help. So yeah, I would say we
I'm
are.
gonna say proud is exactly what I feel like.
And then in just an overall sense as well, let me just say that like literally any comments boost our shit.
I know, right? Like,
so keep that shit coming. It's just a good time out here.
Oh no, we love the troll comment. We love all the comments.
God,
frankly.
that's so
like,
funny.
We want to get as many comments as we can, but I just feel bad for this guy, especially once I found out that this man is married and
married.
a dad.
Yeah, he's a.
I'm
he's
like
a
that poor kid, or kids, and that poor woman. Like,
he's just out here coming.
It's just unfortunate that he's living his life.
Do we think that he's even like? Do we think that that's even true?
Oh no, I think it's true.
You think that's true? It's not just like some troll who's just catfishing.
Well, okay, I believe that he has a person that he walked down the aisle with, and I believe that he unfortunately has created an offspring. The rest of it, I'm not going to pretend like I believe very heavy, but I believe those things to be true.
He's just I just truly can't imagine being so big mad that I literally was like, give women respect.
I know, right?
I mean,
like,
I can't imagine it because I like, get up here and say that all the time, that women don't get enough respect. But at the same time, he said like this fucking huge novel to basically be like, bitches don't deserve respect.
Yeah, he
came
out here with my favorite shot, except for he did it in the wrong way. He was like, bitches ain't shipping hoes and tricks.
100%, that's literally what he said. That's
he just
so
didn't
fucking
do
funny.
it in a good way. Like,
God damn, we had to bring that man up.
Yeah,
I hope he gets some good
that's
fucking
just,
pussy. Honestly, he needs it.
Well, obviously he not if he's out, because that shit was at like, again, it was at like close to midnight while he was out here commenting, like, so he was not getting it in, like he was just out here kicking it, like.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that prompted us to want to talk about, just like, what are we doing here, and like, do we like think about it, and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, hello.
Oh yeah, there was this. The other two comments on that video, this is comical. Sex workers, they got insurance, 401k, life insurance, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm like, because every job has
in the world has
man,
401k.
You know who should shut up? The person who's clearly not living in America.
Sir, sit down. Sir, exit the chat.
And then this guy who I did like his comment, the world would physically implode if a prostitute was made fun of. And I was like, that's just funny. So I'm here for it. Like,
people are mad.
Like, yeah, I'm like, good for him.
Whatever, that's fine. Idiots.
Hey. Quaranting's podcast on the YouTube. Keep going.
Hit us up on YouTube. Obviously, it's popping over there.
We're about to be releasing more shit on there. So, enjoy yourselves. But, yeah, it's just, I know what you thought your purpose for the pod was, but, like, I know I've said it before, but just to make emphasis, like, when I got on here or like agreed to continue doing it,
right, like, after I coerced you for a couple times,
for me it was really just like, this is just a little quick therapy session. I can just kind of come out here, say whatever. Anybody who knows me knows, like, you getting off wax Lume, just on wax, looking dressed and ready to go. And I'm just here for the jokes, because I treat all this stuff for the fun, like the joy.
To make everybody, including ourselves, feel better.
I'm like, if I'm not out here trying to smile and be smiling with everybody else, like, what am I doing? Like, it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So the people that are out here, let's just say not smiling.
Right.
I am, I would say I feel bad for you, but I don't.
Right. So then it gets into, like, what are the reasons to do it beyond, like, what is it? So we sort of talked about it because we are here to, like, all, collectively, like, get a fucking 2 seconds of relief from our millennial depressive states of anxiety and COVID and whatever the fuck else. But I think it really kind of comes down to, like, 3 major categories for me. And I've thought about this a lot. Of why
she really thought about this a lot.
Why
like,
to
please
do this
pay
podcast?
Attention.
Yeah,
please pay attention.
Because, well, I'll just say. So it's part of it is for me. That's the first thing. Part of it is for me, but it's not. Growing up in not my parents, but just like an upper middle class Catholic, community. Like, there was a lot of subliminal discussion about, like,
Shit.
vanity and narcissism being way too broadly attributed to just like self-care. And so like,
and not the self-care that you was talking about on the OnlyFans
no,
episode, but
I just mean like any sort of personal expression of conviction or emotions or opinions or political beliefs, like all of it, like suppress, especially for the women. And like, and again, no, not necessarily specific individuals, but just the culture at large. And so for me, like one of these things that I'm trying to like fight against is just actually like I feel like I was always this person and I was never able to like have the gall and the means to express it when I was in fucking Catholic high school, and even someone in college and even someone beyond college. Like I've never felt like I was being perceived correctly, and this is like I feel like a common thing with millennials is that we're all feeling like we're not understood. And I always felt not understood, and I always felt not liked, even though that was like not really
you're
true.
Like the best. What are you talking about?
I know, but like I've never really
Stop.
felt that way, and so like part of it is to just get myself out there in that way, and then particularly in the dating context, like I don't want to fool anybody. Like people have this thought of like you're gonna scare men away doing this.
Oh, I didn't think that, but I'm biased.
And I'm just like, but you're not understanding it for two reasons. First of all, like, I'm not going to like there. I wouldn't be out here even having the wherewithal and like the willingness to even pursue men if I wasn't doing this, because quarantine itself was keeping me locked in. Yeah. And I wasn't getting out there, and I genuinely was feeling like it wasn't worth going through, because a lot of dating is like really shitty and like it never goes well. And it's very hard.
That's when we outside and are able to see people that it's shitty. Like, and you're talking about now a fucking global pandemic where we wasn't outside,
right,
wasn't able to see people, had to sit through the fucking apps, hope that whatever, like it was a lot of ooh, that's nasty.
Right. You should scroll down.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't disagree with you on that. It's been tough, but I know you have more to cook, so please cook.
Yeah, I mean, just I think people don't understand that if I wasn't doing this podcast, I still would be this person. And so when there's a lot of like discussion about like, should you really be saying these things, and should you really be like publicly saying all this stuff, like
should you put on wax your real self?
I don't want to hide that when I feel like I'm not the only one who maybe isn't exactly like me, but who can like be willing to say stuff that I know other people are feeling, and they're feeling sad, and they're feeling alone and rejected and whatever else. But if I can make light of like some guy standing me up at a bar, like in the Catfish episode, then other people can feel like that's not such a big deal either. And I feel less bad about what I just went through, even though it sucked or whatever the situation may be.
They can relate to it.
Yeah. And there's just no reason to hide any of this, because it's just like if I was afraid of people not wanting to approach me, or men not wanting to approach me or date me, so I should hide this and I shouldn't do this podcast, they're just going to fucking find it out later and not be happy about it if they were going to be unhappy about it anyway.
Correct. If they were going to get some type of feelings about it, they were going to get it at some point, because it's not something that you're not about. So you were going to share it eventually. Like, there's just no way. So it's like, might as well let it be up front.
Right.
It's supposed to delay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, hey, you're the one that was coming at me when I was like, oh, yeah, put the podcast in the fucking Tinder bio or whatever. He was like, no, I can't have these motherfuckers knowing about the podcast.
I know. And see, and that's, I think a really good example of the way that, like, I knew I wanted to do this when I like approached you to do it with me, but I didn't have these thoughts like fleshed out at that time.
Coerced. Hustled.
Coerced, yeah.
Swindled. Bamboozled.
Yeah.
All these other words other than approached.
I mean, yeah, and it's not. I don't want to make it seem like we are the first ever ones to think, oh, let's do a dating podcast. Like, obviously, very successful dating podcasts exist, but there's something to be said for like it does as we do it and as we go through it. Like, I learn about myself through the process, and the Tinder bio is a really good example because I was trying to hide it for a while, and then I was like, wait a second, but this feels like more me than this other thing. So, like, that doesn't make,
Yeah, it's like, why am I doing that one? Like,
so, in that way, like, there's plenty of ways that it is for me. And I think, even just in that, like, women, like I said, they're taught that if you make things about you, you're a diva, you're vain, you're all this shit. And
diva is just a female version of a hustler. That's what a great philosopher once told me. I don't know. But, no, I hear you. And, I mean, like I said, I've said before, and I'll say it again and again and again and again, like, for me, just even, like, faking it as, like, a different way of therapy.
Right.
Like, therapy is about learning about yourself.
Yeah.
And figuring out what is best for you. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I think of it. So, like, just talking the things out and getting to the points and doing what we do, like, that's what's going to happen. Like, it makes the most sense. Like, I had a friend text me earlier today talking about... He was listening to the other episode. One of the episodes recently came out. He goes, hey, bro, I guess you're going to need to get some more jewelry. And I was like, bro, get the fuck out of here. I said, if I need to get some more jewelry just to get these ladies, I guess I'm just going to be single for the rest of my life.
I mean...
And
I don't know about all that.
Hey, no, I refuse to change my style. So, yeah, I know 100% all about that. I'm not about to change my style like that. Like, I'm not going to do that.
I've actually pierced, I think, 3 boyfriends' ears. I can pierce your ears if you want.
Well, good for them. You will never touch these ears for any reason. No chance. Like, not going to be able to do it. I'm not piercing. I ain't got no pierces. I ain't got no necklaces. Like, I barely have watches. Shout out Eric for the last watch I got. Like... You said I'm wearing hats wasn't even a fucking accessory, apparently. Like, I'm like, I got hats and sunglasses.
I said that's barely.
Yeah, exactly. Which, again, that's exactly what I just said, so it's fine. Like, I'm not changing. I'm not changing. If I gotta change just to be out here getting more likes doing the thing, I'm good. Like, but that's the point of the pod.
Yeah,
find
exactly.
out that I'm comfortable.
Right.
And the fact that I don't need to be leaving Rolexes over at everybody's fucking crib. I'm not doing that. Like, no. I'm good. Good. Don't worry about it. So that's just the point. Like, we just out here doing what we do because that's what we do.
I mean, so definitely, that's category number 1 in a very long-winded way. Category number 2 is obviously the listeners. Like, I think, again, it sort of goes back to, like, this isn't a diary, We want it to be funny. I've always wanted to make content for people that is for them to be entertained. Like, I'm offering you something. It's not just...
You are Kristen Renee, the content creator.
So, like, I want it to be something that's worthwhile for other people, not just for me. And so, I want it to be funny and varied and interesting and challenging and relatable and all these different things. And I think we are able to do that with the different episodes. Some are more outlandish, some are more intellectual, some are more,
freaky.
Sure. I was going to say, like, category-based or real-life based or whatever.
I'm only thinking about fucking freaky, and you know exactly why. But anyways, continue.
But, yeah, I mean, that goes back to the thing of, like, that those qualities are what I try and we try to prioritize above the accuracy of, my specific life and my day-to-day life. But we still want to be guided by our lives because I think, we're single millennials. We're all going through it on some level, but it's for the content, people.
It's like, I don't know. It's like people think I be joking, and to some level, I am making light. But people like act like when I'm on IG and I'm in Vegas or I'm out on a boat and all I do is say hashtag podcast research. I'm really not joking.
No, it's
like I am out here researching.
Yeah.
Now, it's not my fault that research is just real life.
Right.
But like that's the point of why I put that out there. Is like it's serious. That's the blend that you're talking about. Like we don't need to be specific as far as the date, time, name, whatever. But when you see me out in the streets, research.
Right.
Like this is research.
Right.
Now, don't get it twisted. If you find and you're trying to get with me, you're not research, girl. You my number one. But like, but other than that, when I'm outside, research.
Yeah.
Research. So like, I don't. It's just funny with me when people, I guess, don't take what we are saying seriously,
Right.
or they take it too seriously. Like there should be. I think you talked about it earlier. Like the middle ground. Like.
Yeah.
Come in here and just be level-headed. Like, we out here just trying to show you the fun that, we had a vision. Well, you had a vision and I popped up. And now we have a vision.
Yeah.
Now we have a vision. And it's like, just come on the ride. Come on the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to have fun. Like, you wouldn't be listening right now if you weren't having fun. Let's be honest. So, stop playing. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Tell a friend.
And the third category, which is where I get on my little annoying soapbox the most, even though I've been on it this whole episode, is the streets.
The whole episode? I thought you've been calm today.
I'm trying to get through this. I'm like sweating.
You've been really good today.
Yes, the streets.
The streets.
Yes, we have to get to the streets thing. And this relates back to Mr. YouTube Boy, because the thing is that I don't know if I could articulate this directly when I started this, but I've always felt this way on a kind of deeper, larger level, maybe subconsciously. Like when he says, like, what is your like purpose in life? Like it's worth, like, aside from me, aside from dating, aside from like anything I've said thus far in this episode, it would be worth it to me to do this podcast for the sake of feminism, period.
Wonder Woman takes flight.
Like anything else is just fucking icing on the cake. Like I really do feel like there is always a need and always room for people to pursue their own, best method of and best talents for being, political. And this is one way that I'm trying to do that. Like, no jokes. And it's just like, I don't get it when that isn't obvious. I think about all the time, like almost every day I think about, like, there's so much shit going on in the world. Afghanistan, like, just everything. COVID, people, immigration, like, so much. There's so much going on.
The world is crazy, unfortunately, more than ever, it feels like.
And I feel a great guilt a lot over my lack of activism. And I spend a lot of time thinking, like, should I be volunteering more? Should I be, donating money that I don't have? Should I be X, Y, and Z things? And I always just come back around to this idea that, like, everybody has to do what they're good at, period.
As I've said many a times, everybody has a role to play in this story we call life.
And so I do really feel that if I can take this podcast, which is used for a lot of different things, myself included, and pack it chock full with these feminist messages and with these, honestly, a lot of times anti-capitalist messages that I strongly believe in.
The patriarchy.
That's like a way that I can contribute positively to the world and make it a better place. And I feel it's my obligation, responsibility, and, somewhat purpose to do that. And it doesn't mean that, like, this podcast is my life's purpose per se, but it just means, like, putting these messages out there is really important to me. Which is funny because I just sit around talking about me being slutty most of the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an episode where you literally said, Oh no, that dude knew me as that old hoe. Now that young hoe. Now I'm a grown hoe. Something to that effect. But yes, which is perfectly fine. No, I appreciate you saying that though, because like, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I do believe that we are not bad people. And like, we out here, and yes, I am definitely, everybody knows I'm here for the jokes. Let's not play no games. But I mean, if there's serious subjects to talk about, I will give you my honest opinion and I will tell you how I feel. I think a certain way on many of things, but I'm not out here trying to, like, I guess, make the world a worse place.
No, like you said, to quote Mr. YouTube.
Mr. YouTube, I found.
Are you proud to make the world a worse place?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to make it a better place. Buddy, Chucky, or whatever his name is, I can't remember. But at the same time, it's like everybody has to do it their way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I may not be destined for like some political career, or, you know, even though I call myself the Kabaka, shout out King, like, I may not be sitting on no royal throne anytime soon. Like, I'm still going to do what I think is the best for those that will listen to me.
Right.
And, you know, with the podcast, now I have the opportunity for more people to listen to me. So hopefully they'll hear, and they'll hear what I'm about. They'll understand what I'm trying to say. And maybe they'll even just taking the small piece of it is better than me not doing anything. So,
and even if we like say the wrong thing or have the wrong take, or like, especially with the quick hits, like sometimes I be getting more stressed about the quick hits than I do about the main topics, because
I know, because you be calling people that are not all-stars fucking all-stars, so it's crazy.
Well, like, whatever. We talk about real people in real life, and that I'm not trying to like fuck this up, and people think I'm being very reckless, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Well, no. And I mean, I guess that's one of the funny things where, I mean, as we talked about earlier with the audience comments and stuff, like, I always feel it's funny when people text me and they be like, oh, you know, I feel like I know Kristen, you know, from listening to the pod and that. And I'm like, yeah, you do know her.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, if you met her, like, you feel very comfortable going into a conversation with her without having that whole stupid little introduction bullshit, because you've heard the pod and you're cool. But, like, you know, obviously there's layers to this shit, and, you know, you just got to get to the layers. But, you know, you're not out here fucking up shit. Like,
I mean, sure, yeah. It's
okay, you're not fucking up shit in the world. Okay, how about that? Now, if it comes to, you know, other things, then maybe that's personal people's feelings. But overall, you're doing well.
Thanks for the Lume seal of approval.
Luminator seal of approval, but yes. I know she didn't even want it, but she's going to take it. I'll take it. And that's fine.
No, anyway. It's... I feel like embarrassed because I'm like getting all upset. But it's okay.
You've been oddly... I'm
trying to like be like...
calm with your emotions today.
Yeah, I'm trying to like be like actually real.
Wait, why are you upset?
No, I'm not upset. It's just, it's honestly harder for me to be like this than it is for me to be like...
This is the realest episode we ever recorded.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
I'm not joking. Like, I know it's funny, but I'm not joking.
It's harder. It's way harder for me to publicly like say all this and be this way than it is for me to be like just wild and crazy. And
I just want to tell everybody right now, and you better not cut this part out. I just want to tell everybody right now. Every time we record, like I said earlier in this episode, we turn the dials up.
Yeah.
But everybody who knows me knows that 95% of what I say on here is exactly the way that actually happened. That is not the same percentage for her. But today's episode, she was on the exact same percentage as me the entire time. And this will probably never happen again, so enjoy it. Download it twice. Download it, delete it, download it again. rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe, do the whole thing. Because I'm telling you right now, this is a once in a lifetime experience. So that's all I have to say about that.
Hopefully the audience, hopefully you guys like appreciate our
the candor was
candor
real.
and like why we like wanted to do this.
Like I said,
because I'm feeling like so embarrassed and overwhelmed, but that's okay. That's gonna all stay in. I want it to be like real. And
that's so crazy.
I want to push myself.
You're
to be better
feeling
on this
embarrassed about this episode, where I feel so comfortable about it. But an episode that I know people will have heard after this comes out, I felt hella embarrassed about that, and all you looked me in the eyes and said, "No, it's fine, Lume.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
good.
I know.
It's good.
But see,
it's
that's
good.
why we're a good team, because you can like be like, no, it's fine.
Because we can lie to each other so we can get shit out. That's exactly why
the
we're
audience
good.
just sees us like having
So you can get
nervous
audible
breakdowns
shit.
on screen.
Man, that's crazy.
Funny. Yeah, fuck. Why am I? I'm like, okay. I need to like just calm down.
Yeah,
It's fine.
no, that's fine. You need your drink break. You need the quick hits.
Yeah.
It's fine. You good. Nah, we hit everything I think that we wanted to hit.
Yeah.
But again, just the main point is you come to Quarantings because, as I've been telling y'all, it's the best podcast you heard today. Come for the fun.
Come for the love.
Stay for my real stories. And then leave with Kristen's awesome wisdom. And you'll be good.
Facts.
No problem.
Facts.
No problem. Ain't no problem. Ain't
Great
nothing to
summary.
it but to do it, okay?
All right, I gotta get off this episode before I have a
Yeah,
panic attack.
I know, right?
We have to stop. I'm so
So we outside. We're going to hit this drink break in the quick hiss. We'll holla at y'all.